Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie's entitled Revenge. Let's get straight into the storyline. At the beginning of the film, we see a Mexican Special Forces team preparing to raid an illegal arms deal. The team is led by a captain named Toro. Not long after they arrive at the location, before getting out, they do a quick chant together to boost their morale.
¿Quiénes somos? ¡Fuerzas especiales! ¿Y qué hacemos? ¡Matar al enemigo! ¿Entiende?
At the same time, we are introduced to Hector, the boss of the illegal arms trafficking operation. Just as Hector is about to complete the deal, Captain Toro and his team suddenly move in. A fierce gunfight breaks out right away. It does not take long for Toro and his men to take down all of Hector's guards. After that, Toro approaches Hector, who is now cornered with nowhere left to run. Before being captured, Hector warns Toro that he will regret this for the rest of his life. That warning would soon come true. The next day, Toro and his team celebrate their success after finally capturing Hector. During the gathering, Toro personally thanks two of his men for all the help they gave during the mission. He also gives special thanks to his aide, Miguel, because without him, the whole operation would not have gone smoothly. Later that afternoon, the story moves to the military headquarters, where a formal meeting is being held with the higher-ups. One of the generals praises Captain Toro and his team, saying this is the first time a Special Forces unit has ever managed to capture Hector. The general then invites Toro up to the podium to speak. In his speech, Toro thanks his team for standing by him and helping make the mission a success. But he also says something far more serious. He explains that Hector is not just an ordinary crime boss, but a former member of the military. Toro is convinced that Hector has had protection from powerful people inside the military all along. He then makes a bold promise, saying he will wipe out whoever has been backing Hector, no matter how high their rank may be. The room immediately erupts in applause, with everyone praising Toro's courage. After the event is over, Toro is approached by his superior, Colonel Jenny. She asks how he knows Hector has military backing. Toro tells her that he learned it from an informant. Jenny then encourages him to keep up his spirit, and as a reward for his achievement, she grants him 1 week of leave.
Es uno que tiene sus talentos, mi coronel.
De su vacación.
The next day, Captain Toro decides to take a short vacation at the beach with his wife. He is not alone, as Miguel joins him as well, bringing his own wife along for the trip.
Pues salud. Salud. Por el buen placer estar juntos.
That night, Toro asks his wife to stay in the room while he heads out to meet Miguel. He goes down to the pool area where Miguel is waiting. During their conversation, Toro brings up the same question that has been on his mind. Who has been backing Hector all this time? He makes it clear that no matter who it is, even if it turns out to be a high-ranking general, he will not hesitate to take them down. At that exact moment, the power in the hotel suddenly goes out. Realizing something is wrong, Toro and Miguel rush back to their rooms to check on their wives. Miguel arrives first and feels relieved when he finds his wife safe. But Toro is not as lucky. The moment he enters the room, he is met with a horrifying sight. His wife has already been killed. Before he can even process it, he is suddenly attacked by the person responsible. A brutal fight breaks out between them. Both men are equally skilled, but in the end, Toro manages to overpower his opponent. He then rushes back to his wife's body, completely overwhelmed with grief. However, the attacker is not finished yet. He suddenly gets back up and launches another assault, catching Toro off guard and sending him crashing into the water unconscious. Six months later, Toro is shown waking up, revealing that he survived the incident. Now he has withdrawn from the military and chosen to live in isolation in a remote village. Even so, he has not moved on. The loss of his wife still haunts him, and he is determined to find the people responsible and uncover whoever is behind it all. The following day, while Toro is lost in thought, Miguel suddenly shows up. It turns out that Miguel was the one who saved Toro from drowning and secretly brought him to this village to recover. Miguel then invites him to go out for a drink. At a small cafe, Toro asks if Miguel has found any information about the people who killed his wife. Miguel admits that he has not, but he is certain that it is connected to Hector's arrest. Not long after, Miguel receives a call from his wife asking him to come home right away. He decides to leave, but before going, he gives Toro some money to help with his daily needs.
Vengo a verlo en un mes. Gracias.
Once Miguel is gone, Toro uses all of that money to buy lottery tickets, hoping that somehow luck will be on his side. The next day, while having lunch, Toro notices a man sitting nearby reading a newspaper. What catches his attention is the lottery announcement printed on it. The winning number is 25888, and Toro instantly realizes that it is his number. That means he has just won 1 billion pesos. Without wasting a second, he reaches for the ticket he remembers keeping in his jacket pocket. But then it hits him. He left his jacket in a taxi the night before. With no other choice, Toro heads straight to the local taxi base. When he gets there, he calmly asks the driver about his missing jacket. Instead of helping, the driver signals his friends to throw Toro out. That turns into a fight. And in the end, Toro forces his way through them and retrieves his jacket. Later that afternoon, news spreads quickly. Toro is officially announced on television as the winner of the 1 billion peso lottery. When reporters ask what he plans to do with the money, he makes it clear that every cent will be used to track down the people responsible for his wife's death.
Voy a usar todo este dinero para encontrar y chingarme a todos los hijos de puta responsables del asesinato de mi esposa, Alicia.
The story then shifts to Miguel, who has now taken over Toro's former position as captain of the Special Forces. Not long after, Colonel Jenny approaches him and asks if he has known all along that Toro was still alive. Miguel admits that he has. Jenny then warns him to stay out of Toro's situation and focus on his new responsibilities. Miguel agrees and chooses to follow her orders. The next day, Toro travels into the city to meet Miguel at his apartment. He tries to convince him to start moving again and hunt down the people behind his wife's murder. His first plan is clear. They need to kidnap Hector from prison since he is obviously connected to everything. But this time Miguel refuses. He apologizes and explains that he cannot get involved anymore. He fears that his wife and child could become targets, and his duties in the military are already overwhelming. Hearing this, Toro feels disappointed. Miguel once promised he would stand by him, but now he is backing away. With nothing more to say, Toro leaves. After that, Toro reaches out to 2 of his former teammates and asks them to meet him at a hotel. Both of them happen to be on leave, so they agree and head over. When Lola and Dylan arrive at the hotel room, they are surprised to find a table filled with expensive food waiting for them. Toro then shows them 2 large stacks of cash and offers it all in exchange for their help in tracking down his wife's killers. Without hesitation, Lola and Dylan accept the offer. When they ask about the plan, Toro tells them everything will be explained at their new base. It turns out he has already rented a building to serve as their headquarters. 2 hours later, Toro, Dylan, and Lola arrive at their new base. It is here that Toro finally lays out the plan. Their mission is to kidnap Hector. To make it work, Toro brings in 2 hired mercenaries to support the operation. He then explains how they will break into the military facility where Hector is being held. The strategy is simple but risky. Soon enough, Toro, Lola, and the 2 mercenaries successfully disguise themselves as soldiers assigned to the base. Meanwhile, Dylan stays in the car, working on hacking into the security system. After a short while, Dylan confirms that all the CCTV cameras are under control, giving the team a clear path inside.
Circuito liberado.
Listo. Lo quiero limpio.
When they reach Hector, they are surprised by what they find. Instead of a prison cell, he has been living in comfort, almost like he is at home, even being provided with company. Without wasting time, Toro's team quickly subdues him. They carefully escort Hector out through a back route and load him into Dylan's waiting vehicle.
Puta madre.
Back at the base, Toro immediately begins interrogating him. The questioning quickly turns brutal as Toro demands answers about his wife's murder and the identity of the person who has been protecting Hector all this time. At first, Hector refuses to talk, but under pressure, he finally gives in. He admits that the people who killed Toro's wife were his own men acting out of revenge for his capture. He also reveals that he has been backed by someone high up within the military. Just as Hector is about to reveal the name, everything changes in an instant. A single shot rings out, and Hector is killed on the spot. Out of nowhere, a group of masked attackers storms the base. Toro, Lola, and Dylan are forced into a fight they are not prepared for. Realizing they are outnumbered, they make the decision to retreat. Their escape turns into a high-speed chase, with gunfire erupting as another vehicle pursues them.
Capitán, ¿está bien?
Solo fui por unas flores.
After a long and intense pursuit, they finally manage to break away and reach safety. Once they regroup, the three of them begin piecing things together. They question who could have attacked them and how their location was exposed. Lola comes to a conclusion. The attackers must have been sent by the same powerful figure who has been backing Hector all along. She then points out that there is only one person who can help them uncover the truth: Miguel. The only way forward is for him to access military data from the inside. The next day, after receiving Toro's call, Miguel finally agrees to help by accessing military data.
Exactamente lo que tenía que hacer. Está bueno.
He begins going through Hector's files, searching for anyone close to him who could be tracked down and questioned. Before long, Miguel finds something useful. He uncovers information about Hector's right-hand man, Juan Carlos. It turns out Juan has been free this whole time, which makes him a strong lead. Miguel quickly passes the information to Toro, along with Juan's full address. Not long after, the focus shifts back to Toro, who is visited by Dylan. Dylan explains that his leave is over and he needs to return to the military base. He plans to request an extension since Toro's mission is not finished yet. Toro reminds him to stay careful, warning that there are many traitors inside the military. Soon after, Toro heads to Juan's location. When he arrives, Juan is not there. However, something else catches his attention. He finds photos of his wife inside the place, leading him to believe that Juan was the one who carried out her execution. At the same time, he also sees photos of Miguel's wife and child, which raises a new concern. It suggests that Miguel's family could be the next targets. Once he gets back to safety, Toro immediately contacts Miguel and warns him about what he found. He urges him to secure his family as soon as possible. Miguel assures him that his wife and child are already hidden somewhere safe. He then asks Toro to meet him at a hot spring, saying there is something important he needs to explain in person. Toro agrees and asks Lola to drive him there. When they arrive, Toro tells Lola to stay in the car while he goes in alone. Inside, he heads straight to a private room to wait for Miguel. Outside, Lola starts to notice suspicious activity around the area. Sensing that something is wrong, she quickly warns Toro that it might be a trap. Realizing the danger, Toro immediately tries to escape, but it is already too late. The exits have been sealed, and gas begins to fill the building. With no time to waste, Toro manages to find a way out through a bathroom window. As soon as he gets outside, he rushes back toward Lola's car. At the same time, Lola is suddenly attacked by Juan, leading to a violent fight. In the chaos, Juan is struck by a vehicle, giving Lola just enough time to escape. She manages to pick up Toro as he arrives, and they try to get away. But Juan survives and fires a shot that hits Lola. With no other option, Toro takes control of the wheel and pushes forward, urging her to hold on. Elsewhere, Dylan arrives at the military base to request an extension for his leave. To do that, he must report directly to Colonel Jenny. When questioned about his reason, Dylan lies and claims it is for a personal matter. But Ginny already knows the truth. She is aware that Dylan has been working with Toro. Without hesitation, she attacks him and kills him on the spot. At that moment, the truth is finally revealed. The person who has been backing Hector all along is Colonel Ginny herself. Not only that, she also has a direct stake in the illegal arms business run by Hector's organization. The story then shifts to Miguel, who arrives at Toro's second base. As soon as Toro sees him, he loses control and nearly attacks him, believing he was the one who set him up. Because of that incident, Lola is now in critical condition and undergoing surgery. Miguel quickly explains that he had nothing to do with the trap. He realizes that his call with Toro was intercepted and that Ginny is the one behind everything. This time, Miguel is ready to step in and help Toro take her down. Hearing this, Toro finally believes him. Without wasting any time, the two of them begin preparing for what comes next. The following day, after making their plan, Toro and Miguel head straight to Ginny's base.
Hey, Andre.
When they arrive, Toro is shocked to find Dylan's body displayed on the lower floor. There is no time to react, so they push forward and take the elevator up. At first, everything seems quiet, but the moment the doors open, they are met by a large group of armed men waiting for them. A brutal fight breaks out immediately. In the chaos, Toro and Miguel are forced to split up. Miguel stays behind to fight off Ginny's men inside, while Toro pushes forward through another group. Eventually, Toro is overpowered and captured, then brought face to face with Ginny. Juan is also there, standing by her side. Just as Toro is about to be executed, everything suddenly shifts.
¿Dónde habrá quedado tu lealtad?
Miguel storms in and disrupts the situation, taking down the remaining forces. Now, only Ginny and Juan are left. The final battles begin. Toro faces Ginny while Miguel takes on Juan. The fights are intense and unforgiving. Juan manages to overpower Miguel, leaving him down. At the same time, Toro succeeds in killing Ginny in a brutal confrontation. After that, Juan turns his attention to Toro. Their fight is short but violent, ending with both of them crashing down to a lower level and hanging on the edge. Moments later, Miguel regains consciousness and rushes to help Toro. He tries everything he can to pull him up, but Juan clings tightly to Toro's leg, making it nearly impossible. Even so, Miguel refuses to give up. He struggles with all his strength to save him, but Toro has already made his decision. Knowing that his revenge is complete and that his death will take Juan with him, he lets go. In the end, both Toro and Juan fall to their deaths. The story closes with Miguel meeting Lola, who has fully recovered. Lola chooses to leave the military behind, while Miguel continues his path. In time, he rises through the ranks and becomes the new colonel, taking Ginny's place.